Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to talk about the divisional round of the playoffs, where we saw the first two games. One was good, one was not the best. Probably the worst game of the weekend, Texans-Chiefs, because we already knew what was going to happen. I thought the Chiefs would win. Everyone thought the Chiefs would win, and they won. And basically by how much you think they would win. And in the style you think they would win. They have their offense isn't very explosive right now. And the Texans have a really good defense, and the Chiefs have a really good defense, and the Texans' offense is sluggish. So, Chiefs won 23-14. The spread was 8.5 at one point. It's about the same as the spread. Either be +8 or whatever. And then the great game was the Commanders vs. Lions. That game was great. Commanders vs. Lions, the Commanders upset the Lions 45-31. A high-scoring game, a lot of offense being played in that one. And, yeah, the Commanders looked like the better team, even though they have a lot less talent on every level. The only thing I would say is better is the quarterback and maybe number one, not even that, I wouldn't say number one corner. So, probably quarterback is better than the Lions. Not the receiving core, not the O-line, nothing else on the offense. Their defense, I guess the defensive line with the injuries is better than the Lions, but that's it. So they had a massive upset, and I'm very surprised that they did it. But they did, and they beat the Lions. So the other two games were the Rams. The Rams who lost to the Eagles. It was 28-22. And the Rams had a chance at the end to win the game, Matthew Stafford, and they didn't. It was 4th and 10, and they didn't get the touchdown. So Matthew didn't play a terrible game, but wasn't great. And Jalen Hurts they just ran the ball. The Eagles, they had like 280 rushing yards, something crazy. Saquon would have had over 200 yards if he broke a run that he just slid to win the game, to just ice the game away. So yeah. The Eagles beat the Rams. And that game was good. The other two games were good. Both were good in Sunday. Not as good as the Saturday as the Lions Commanders, but the other two games are good too. The Ravens vs. Bills, it was a 2-point game. The Bills
roll, flip it, got it. Oh, the ball was dropped. He had the 2-point conversion.
It was won by 2. I thought the Bills would win. Lamar played an okay game. He played a C- game. A C-. It wasn't great, but it wasn't good. He had bad moments. He was coming back, which in like the second half was more like a B, but the first half was like a D, so like a C- I'd give Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens. Mark Andrews would get an F because he was terrible. He fumbled. He had 2 drops. He wasn't good that game. But the Ravens obviously didn't deserve the win. They made crucial mistakes at the end of the game like they did last year in the playoffs when they lost. They make a lot of mistakes in the playoffs. Don't know why. Coaching, quarterback, players, whatever it is, they just make a lot of mistakes. So, yeah, the Bills, Josh Allen was amazing. He didn't have any passing touchdowns, but he had 2 rushing touchdowns, and he was just playing through balls with accuracy. No elite players at all. The best receiver is probably Shakir, maybe the best receiver. Then their second best receiver is or maybe Amari Cooper is one. I don't know, but the receivers aren't great. Amari Cooper is the only person I think who's made a Pro Bowl at the receiving corps, but he is washed. He's not as good as he used to be. He's on the downslope of his career. They have good tight ends. I don't know if they made a Pro Bowl before. Maybe Dawson Knox, but yeah. So yeah, the Bills played alright. They played good. They won. The Ravens did have an opportunity to tie the game at the end, and Mark Andrews dropped the 2-point conversion. So if that would have happened, we'll see the Bills defense isn't crazy good. You wouldn't say it's a Super Bowl defense like the Ravens have a Super Bowl, like a defense that if you looked at the players on the defense, you would think, damn, you can win a Super Bowl with that. The Bills can win a Super Bowl without a defense that good, but it's just that it doesn't look like a Super Bowl defense. Like the Eagles have a Super Bowl defense, the Chiefs, the Texans all have Super Bowl defenses, and the Commanders don't. But the Commanders won, the Bills won, the Eagles won. They have the defense looking like a Super Bowl Cowboy, and the Chiefs won. So yeah, and then for the matchups next week, it's Eagles versus Chiefs, and it's Eagles versus Chiefs. What am I talking about? It's Eagles versus the Commanders, and it's the Bills versus the Chiefs. I don't know why I got that mixed up. Obviously, that's who won. But yeah, I think right now. I think the Chiefs and the Commanders are gonna win. It's gonna be Chiefs Commanders Super Bowl. It'd be weird seeing the Commanders there, but I think they're gonna win. It's hell for me. I'm a Giants fan, as you can see. There's a Giants blanket. I don't know how to show it's a Giants blanket, and it's hell seeing Saquon cook in the playoffs, but it is what it is. What's it called? And yeah, some key takeaways. Jaden Daniels, great. Jared Goff crumbled under the playoff pressure. I said a lot of this yesterday, so this is gonna be quick. The Saturday games. The other day I talked about these games. And the Chiefs, Texans, CJ Stroud played alright. It was just the Chiefs defense is too good. They held the Texans down. You don't think CJ Stroud is supposed to play like a top 5 quarterback with these other quarterbacks who hold a higher standards like Lamar Jackson losing. So yeah, he didn't have as many he had one turnover, I think he had a fumble. And the refs weren't great against the Chiefs and Texans game, but it was a 2-score game, so I don't think the refs lost the Texans the game. So yeah, not much to say about that game. It was just that what you thought the Chiefs were and what the Texans have been since they've had all those offensive injuries. And now on these games, Saquon Barkley, man, he's just great. We already knew he was great, but he's so talented. In the playoffs, he's doing this running. He's running the ball like crazy in the playoffs. He's just everywhere. And Jalen Hurts, they won the game, so I don't want to sound like a hater, but Jalen Hurts isn't good. Like, this game, he has 70 rushing yards. They're just running him. They just run with him. Because he can run the ball, yes, he's a good runner. And he's a average at best passer. He has average to below average arm strength, average accuracy at every level but intermediate. He has good accuracy in intermediate, short accuracy, medium accuracy is average, deep accuracy, average to below average. It's just, he's not a top 5 quarterback. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. But they won the game because he's a good game manager. They have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, Kenneth Gainwell, Jahad Dotson, who isn't great, but he has talent. He's not a great player, but he has talent. So yeah, they have like the best offensive line in football. It doesn't matter who you bring in. Joe Schmo from the Jets, Mekhi Becton, who was a bust, playing great on that line. Just Jalen Hurts stinks. But even though with that QB struggle, they're still in the NFC Championship game. QB doesn't matter as much as people want you to believe it does. Because a lot of quarterbacks who aren't good win playoff games. A lot of quarterbacks who are good don't win playoff games. Winning is not a quarterback stat. That's why the Eagles won doesn't mean anything for Jalen Hurts. Sometimes, if you wield your team to victory as a quarterback, like Josh Allen did, then that's on you. If Jalen Hurts had 70 rushing yards, 300 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and just display this insane game where his team wasn't helping him, his defense let up 30 points, he scored 40, then yeah, then that would be an instance where Jalen Hurts carried, but he didn't. Him in the Super Bowl was a great game, and he played out of his mind that Super Bowl against the Chiefs. He hasn't played like that since. That was the last time he played at elite level, and that was an elite level. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna discredit anybody just because I don't like them. But Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback. But they did win, and they're going to play the Commanders next week, who don't have a good defense. And they have a real shot of winning, obviously. They beat them the first time when Jalen Hurts is healthy. They lost to them by 1 point when Jalen Hurts is hurt. But like I said, I don't think Jalen Hurts is that big of a game changer where it means they should destroy them because they barely won without. The Commanders barely won without Jalen Hurts being on the Eagles. But way too much time on that game. I didn't even talk about the Rams that much. Matthew Stafford played all right. Puka had top Darius Slay Jr., I guess. He played all right. They wasn't a great. They just ran the ball. The Eagles defense just played out of its mind, and that's another thing. The defense is crazy. Matthew Stafford had a few splash plays to keep the Rams in the game and give them a chance at the end, but the Eagles defense was just too good. So the Eagles are a scary team. Ravens vs. Bills. Key point. I already really went over the key points. I talked about Lamar Jackson having a C- game. Mark Andrews drop. Not much to say. Rashad Bateman played all right for the Bills. Ray Davis had a touchdown, I guess. It was mainly they ran the ball efficiently, the Bills, but we already knew they could do that. James Cook played pretty well. That's it for this video. This is me recapping all the games that happened this weekend. Hope you enjoyed. Comment if you disagree with any of my takes with Jalen Hurts or anything. And see you guys in the next video. Goodbye and have a great day.